try to.
Francis, let's talk about the fight itself now, because you came out very measured. It was a very calm strategy. You came out very efficient. You landed big shots. You stuffed the takedown. You had Stipe hurt in the first round, but you learned the lessons of the first fight, and that was very clear.
Absolutely. I mean, so far that is my biggest experience in the combat sport. You know, that night of January 2018 was the biggest night of my life. And it might sound weird to say this, but even though I didn't have a belt, I knew that I didn't lose that fight of way of how I gained my experience and how I learned about mixed martial art and my fighting action, how to manage a fight, you know. So I have a great outcome from that fight.
So even though you lost, it was still a great benefit.
Yeah, it was a great benefit from that fight, and I believe that that benefit pushed me, rise me higher than this, you know. So yeah.
Well, in the second round, you came out in the second round again, very measured, very calm, but very accurate. You dropped him with a jab, had him hurt, and then he fired back. Let's take a look at it real quick. You caught him with the jab, dropped him. As you stepped in with the right hand, then boom, here's the jab behind it. You have him badly hurt. You drop him, you hit him with some follow-up shots, and as you're chasing him down, he hits you with the right hand, but look at this counter left hook. Boom! Absolutely perfect on the chin, and then follow-up hammer fist, and that's a wrap, and you are now the heavyweight champion of the world. Undisputed.
Yes, man. So he touched me without a punch, but I was set back, stepping back to reset because my coach, my team was here. I mean, Usman been here for 3 days, and everything that he's been yelling in my ear is like, calm down, relax, relax, relax. Then at that specific moment, I'm like, okay, relax. Nothing happened. I get the first round. I can keep going like this. I felt good. I'm like, okay, let's do that. Let's do that. But he did a mistake of following me. Maybe he thought that I was hurt or something, and then that's when I caught him. But we've been putting on a lot of work, me and my team, my coach, Eric Lissig right here, and Gary Cooper, even my manager, Martin Macker, who've been working on everything, single details every day, they've been working on those tapes, because by myself, I didn't watch the previous fight before, so work every day and learn about how to relax and get the best out of myself, instead of like going out there and rush and do everything, get a risk to like miss off everything that we have done.
Francis, how much did it help you having Kamaru Usman in your corner?
Listen, man, having Kamaru Usman in my corner, I knew before I requested that, I asked him that, I knew he would be a good emotional support for me, as I consider him as a brother. You know, since the first time we met, we always work alongside each other and support each other in every situation. And on top of that, we have his wrestling expertise that I knew that is going to be a very important fact in this fight, very decisive. And, you know, plus the fact that now he's the champion, you know, so he kind of inspired me to become a champion as him, since I've been wanting to become a champion like him and Israel Adesanya. So we got to be like 3 African champions, and we got to expect to have a UFC in Africa very soon.
That would be amazing. Now, I want you to enjoy this, and I want you to celebrate this victory, but I also want to talk to you about the future. John Jones sent a tweet out. It said, "Let's play, baby." What do you think about a potential, oh, another one was Show Me the Money. What do you think about a potential fight with one of the greatest, if not the greatest, mixed martial arts fighters in the history of the sport, John Jones, now moving up to heavyweight? That will be your first title defense.
Absolutely. I mean, for my opinion, John Jones is the greatest of all this time he's going to be the challenger. I am the champ. He's coming off and looking for me. So I'm ready anytime soon. You know, even summer I'll be here, ready to fight in July or August. Whenever they are ready, I'm ready. He said something like, show the money, I'm ready. I'm here.
Francis, that will be one of the biggest fights, if not the biggest fight in the history of the sport. Congratulations, sir. It was an honor to call your fight. I feel like I witnessed history tonight, and I just want you to appreciate this and take this all in. I know your journey, so this has got to be extra special. Congratulations, sir.
Thank you very much, Joe. This is very special, as you said, you know, and I owe this to all people, my supporter, all my family who is back right now. The whole Cameroon right now is mobilized, watching the fight. It's 4 a.m. there. Nobody has slept waiting for my fight. So it's a big support for me, and I'm very honored to represent them. The whole, my fans around the world, in France, and my teammate at the Street Couture. Shout out to all my buddy, not C-Boy. And yeah, thank you for all the support for everyone who has been behind me, and basically for my team who helped me to get here.
You did it, Francis. Congratulations, sir.
Thank you, Joe.
The heavyweight champion of the world.
Right here, baby.
That's it, man.
Let's roll.
Woo.
UFC 260, Miocic versus Ngannou 2 has been brought to you by visit ProtectTheFighter.com.
When COVID hit, I knew we would be able to pull this thing off first. Many people thought that this would be impossible. But my team has worked hard, and we proved that professional sports can come back safely. But we're missing the fans big time. I have been waiting a year for this day. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back.
When the time comes.
So don't worry about it.
Kamaru Usman, he is a monster. I need to put some respect on my
I'm gonna baptize Kamaru Usman.
Just that good. Jessica Andrews! She's got serious power. A real nightmare for anybody. The first Chinese UFC champion.
Sean Whiteley! She fights to finish.
She's just this dominant force in this strawweight division.
I want to be the best. I want that belt back.
3 UFC title fights coming your way. Present champions, future Hall of Famers.
It does not get any better.
This is a stacked card in front of 15,000 UFC fans. We are back.
I mean, come on with that promo. The next time we're on pay-per-view, deck is stacked. 15,000 strong in the arena in Jacksonville. It's UFC 261. Usman versus Masvidal 2. That rematch, one of 3 title fights on tap. April 24th, Joe. You got to come to the Sunshine.
All right, the fight of the night was Woodley and Luque, and performance of the night went to O'Malley and Francis Ngannou. They all won $50,000. Congratulations to them.
Dana, new heavyweight champion of the world. Pretty impressive stuff from Francis Ngannou. I mean, I think everybody's still soaking it in, but give us your initial reaction to that.
Yeah, no, he looked in the past. Head kicks, leg kicks, really good grappling, takedown defense, scary.
Yeah. It seemed a mature performance, right? I mean, it's so composed in there. We think of the power that he has, but he has a tendency to kind of rush and get a little wild sometimes. It felt like it was kind of like he's reached a new kind of mature level in his career. Did you feel that way watching him tonight?
Did I feel like it was what?
Like a mature performance from him. It was just much more patient and composed.
Listen, he had that first fight with Stipe. He's had a lot of time to think about it, a lot of time to break down the tonight. And, you know, he even ate that big right hand that Stipe threw back at him when he was coming at him. It was a very impressive performance.
Yeah. I know in his first rise to the top, he even admitted kind of that he got a little full of himself, and was feeling how he was. So now that he's on top of the world, what do you think? I mean, have you had time to talk to him or get a feel of what you think he's going to be like as a champion?
I can't explain to you guys enough about how it's keeping your head together when you either get the title shot or once you get the title. There's a lot of things that go along with being the champion, and it's not as easy as just training and fighting anymore. There's a lot that goes with it. So, he got a little ahead of himself the first time. Let's see how he handles it this time. So far, so good.
Yeah. And I got to ask you what appeals next, right? Because Stipe, we talked about it, greatest of all time. We said if he loses, he'd probably deserve a rematch. But, man, the idea of a John Jones fight seems awfully exciting right now. And John came out, tweeted, said, show me the money. What appeals to you most? Because it seems like that would be an amazing super fight.
If I'm John Jones and I'm home watching this fight, I start moving to 85.
You think that's a fight that you'd like to put together next? I mean, I know we don't matchmake, but that sure does seem exciting.
Listen, I could sit here all day and tell you, what show me the money mean? I tell you guys this all the time. If you can say you want to fight somebody, but do you really want to?
We could talk about this fight tonight, but I did want to ask you about a couple other great performances. Vicente Luque and Tyron Woodley, a great fight. I mean, a fight of the night in just one round. Just want to know what you think of both guys, right? Because it seemed like a key moment for Tyron, but that might have been the best we've seen him in forever.
What's that question?
What did you think about both those guys, Luque and Woodley? Because it was a great fight.
Fight of the night. They came to fight. Both obviously Luque, a rising star, a kid on the up, and Woodley, who takes a lot of criticism. That kid came to fight tonight, and he went out on his shield tonight, man. He came in to fight.
That's what I wanted to ask, because a lot of people said if Woodley lost tonight, maybe that's the end. But he looked good in there, right? I mean, you still want to see Tyron fight again?
Listen, how old's Tyron now? 39. 39. That's 4 in a row. Yeah.
Last thing I did want to ask you about was Sean O'Malley. Gets a performance of the night, bonus. Could have had one in the first round. So I just want to hear what you thought about the whole performance, right? Like, thought he had a walk-off and then ended up getting a walk-off anyway. What did you think about him as a whole?
Yeah, he did it twice tonight. He looked good, coming back in after the Cheeto Vera fight, came in tonight against a real tough kid, tough, durable, and with serious punching power, and he put on a masterpiece tonight. I mean, he picked him apart, stayed on the outside, and basically did whatever he wanted to do. Hurt him, thought he finished him, and then finished him again in the third round. So you really couldn't put on a better performance than he did tonight.
Dana, to your right. I walked in a little bit late as you were already up there, so if you were asked this, I apologize. But just curious if you can comment on the poise and the patience that Francis showed tonight.
Yeah, he was a completely different fighter. Like I said, we saw things from him that we'd never seen before. Head kicks, leg kicks, really good grappling, takedown defense. And he took his time and even ate that big right hand from Stipe. He looked perfect tonight.
You were upset with the way he approached the last fight, and you made your upset known. Did you have any conversation with him this time heading into the fight where you had the opposite sense that could you tell that he was going to come this way?
I didn't. But after the fight, when I was up there, he came up to me and said, "Trust me, I'm a different person, and I said, "I trust you."
Obviously you have to give a lot of credit to him, but I wonder, do you also have to look at his coaching staff? And I guess Eric Nixick deserves a lot of credit there. I mean, to work with that guy and to change him from this just, crazy attacking, person into somebody who was methodical. Even when he hurt Stipe and knocked him down that first time, he didn't just crazy bull rush him. He went with a game plan.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. And when you think about his last 4 fights, he's demolished people immediately. And tonight, he worked on different things, leg kicks, head kicks, defended the takedown, spun around, hit Stipe with some shots. He didn't just rely on trying to go out and club him.
And my last question, you look in the history, and whenever you have a big heavyweight that can punch, it's always a massive draw, a massive attraction. Tyson maybe being the greatest example of that. Do you think with Francis, he's got that big smile, and he has a great backstory, that he can become that guy for you if he continues to do what he's been doing?
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the first fight with him and Derek Lewis was a weird fight. Derek Lewis just looked great in his last fight. That guy's been taking it serious, losing weight and everything else. I mean, Francis has some tough guys coming up in the heavyweight division, so it'll be interesting to see.
Dana, when you see Francis tonight, and you said about the evolution of his game, including the takedown defense, if you're an opponent, how do you beat that guy?
Yeah, the guy that we saw fight tonight is scarier than the guy we were afraid of, yesterday. So it totally makes sense as he begins to evolve and get better, and not just physically. The guy's a physical freak, but when mentally, as his game gets better and he does things the way he's supposed to, he's a problem. He's a scary dude. But like I said, Derek Lewis just looked good too, and we finally have some good heavyweights in this division now. So there's some interesting fights for him.
Is it also an added bonus that Francis tends to finish his fights really quickly, so he can be more active than we've seen the heavyweight title picture been for the last few years? Yeah.
Well, that's the other thing, is that Francis likes to stay active, and Francis likes to fight. At the press conference the other day when we were talking about, he'll call and just say he wants fights. Just give me somebody, I'll fight. So the guy likes to stay busy, he likes to be active, he likes to fight, and he's fun to watch.
Do you think there's a chance he continues to get better? Like, he's been with this new team for a little while now. This is the first fight he's had where he's been able to show some growth. Do you think he will continue to get better over the next couple of years?
Absolutely. Once you grab onto that belt and you start to defend it a few times, you become a completely different person. So yeah, I think he's only going to get scarier.
Outside of this, your old buddy Oscar De La Hoya did a press conference yesterday announcing his return. It was reported that Triller want him to fight a UFC fighter in his return. They didn't specify which one. Is there anyone on the roster you would allow to go box De La Hoya? Maybe Francis.
To box De La Hoya? Come on, guys. This shit's getting silly. I mean, you guys know it's silly. You just want to ask me silly fucking questions.
That's fair. That's
Come on,
true.
you got 50-year-old fucking guys boxing, and you guys are actually talking about it and covering the press conferences? Come on. Come on, you guys.
Last one on that. Did you take the $2 million bet with Snoop?
What's that?
Did you take the $2 million bet with Snoop Dogg?
Did I take it?
Yeah.
No. First of all, the line is 2-1. The fuck would I bet these guys for even money when the line is 2-1?
Fair.
More silly questions. Come on.
Dana, right behind me.
Yeah.
Right now, there are odds out for Francis and John Jones. Francis is a minus 137 right now. Do you agree with those odds? If the fight would happen?
What is it?
Minus 137 in favor of Francis against John Jones right now.
Francis is minus 137?
Yeah, as of right now.
That's interesting. Yeah. That's interesting.
Dana over here. I noticed you had quite a few celebrities than usual at the Apex. I'm assuming a lot of people hit you up because they want to be back to see UFC live. How did you pick out, Machine Gun Kelly and them to be here live tonight?
How did I pick them out?
Yeah, because I'm assuming a lot of
They
people are
called
hitting
me.
you up to watch.
When you call.
Secondly, Miranda Maverick, great performance on the main card, one of the top prospects, only 23 years old. Just what do you see for her? She says she wants to be a top 10 fighter in 2021.
Yeah, we'll keep her busy. Yeah.
And then my final question, we were going to have the featherweight title fight. We know Alexander Volkanovski, tested positive and everything. Because he lives, around the world, is the plan to try to get him back soon if he comes back healthy quickly, or should we expect that to be pushed back a bit?
Yeah, we need him to recover from this thing first. And once he recovers, then we'll figure out, because he's still sick. So once he recovers and we know he's 100% healthy, we'll get him in there as soon as we can.
Thank you.
Yep.
Hey, Dana, back here to your right.
Yeah.
I guess John Jones is watching. He tweeted since you've been up there. He said, "Go to 185. I didn't gain all this weight for no reason." Laughing face.
I like it. That sounds serious. That sounds serious then, John. Call Hunter right now.
Is that
We
the
can
fight?
make that fight tonight, John. Call Hunter right now.
That's the fight to make. Would you say?
What's that?
Jones and Ngannou is the fight to make, right?
Well, Derek Lewis is the fight to make. But if John Jones really wants that fight, listen, it's one thing to go out and tweet and say you want it and I put on the weight and I did this and that. Do you want the fight? I promise you. We can call Derek Lewis or one of these other heavyweights and they want the fight. If John Jones really wants the fight, John Jones knows he can get the fight. All he's got to do is call and do it. Like I said, it's easy to say you want the fight, but if you really want the fight, Francis Ngannou is the heavyweight champion of the world right now. All he's got to do is pick up the phone and call Hunter, and we can get the deal done.
Hunter, can you let me know if John Jones gives you a call? Okay, cool. Last thing, Dana. Now that Stipe's run is, over for now, can you just reflect on what?
That was fucking weird, huh? Holy shit. What the hell was that all about?
Send him to Oscar.
What did he say to me?
Send him to
He's ready to fight for me? He doesn't look like he's in fighting shape. Poor guy. Anything else?
Yeah. I just want to ask you if you could reflect on what Stipe has done over the last few years as the heavyweight champ.
Oh, I'm sorry. Say that again.
I just want to see if you could reflect on what Stipe Miocic has done over the last few years as heavyweight champ.
Yeah, I've had this weird relationship with Stipe, but I love Stipe, man. The guy's as solid as you can get, kept his job as a firefighter, is loved in his hometown, and will go down as the greatest heavyweight ever in UFC history, in the sports history, actually. And, tonight's Francis's first night. I don't know what the future holds for Stipe. Obviously after this fight, he's got to go home and, heal up, spend some time with his family, and then we'll talk about what's next for him. But, I have nothing but the utmost respect for Stipe Miocic and everything he's done in this sport and for this company.
Hey, Dana. With the star power of Francis Ngannou and cities opening back up, is there an ideal location you'd have him have his first title defense?
For Francis?
Yes.
Where's his first title defense?
Yeah, an ideal location with cities opening
I don't
back
know. We got to see as this stuff. What I'm hoping is we go to Jacksonville, then we go to Texas, and then Vegas, and then we just keep rolling. With full sold out events. So. Obviously, Francis would be a Vegas, New York City, Fight Island guy, you know what I mean? One of those locations.
And lastly, with Sean O'Malley getting right back where he left off, I know he had the loss to Chito Vera. They've been barbing back and forth in social media. Do you see an opportunity for those two to run it back? Does that fight interest you?
Yeah, I don't know. Obviously, you can make that fight anytime. That one's always there. So, I don't know. I don't know what's next for either one of those guys.
Dana, just one question for me.
Hi.
This is the last pay-per-view scheduled in Las Vegas before you hit the road. Is it conceivable that you could come back for a pay-per-view event at Apex this year?
Do we think we'll do a pay-per-view here again?
Yeah,
I hope
this
not.
year.
I hope not.
Listen,
don't get me wrong. This is amazing. I'm sure it's a lot easier for you guys too. We pull right in the parking lot. We roll in. You know what this is kind of like? Everybody who's getting lazy and used to working at home, where you don't really have to put. You leave your pajama bottoms on, put a nice top on, sit in front of your computer screen and Zoom somebody. It's the easy, lazy way to do things. But this isn't the right thing to do. We should be in sold-out arenas, fans packed, going crazy, And unfortunately, we'll all have to start traveling to all these cities again, but that's the right thing to do. This is the easy, lazy thing to do, and it's nice, and it was awesome while it lasted, but hopefully this is over.
There are also 2 events on the schedule. Are those events, could they be moved as well? Are you looking to move them?
The next 2.
There's the 10th that's here, and I believe the 17th.
Yeah, so it's funny, great question, actually, because we've had this debate that's going on right now at the office with the fight nights. Do we stay here with the fight nights for a while again? You know what? So Monday, I have a meeting on this on Monday, right? This shit should be together on Monday. Call me Monday.
Will do.
I'm giving you this story. Call me
I
Monday.
appreciate that. The guy that came in here, perhaps he should go fight Oscar De La Hoya. You think you could see that? He wants to fight.
Yeah.
Dana, UFC 264 on July 10th, I believe it is. Could that possibly be at the T-Mobile Arena here in
I hope
Vegas?
so. That's the plan.
That's the plan. And could that be Conor versus Poirier on there?
I hope so.
Okay.
We all hope so.
Dana, just one. With the world sort of opening back up, is the plan still to create a hotel next door in the property? Is that sort of getting shelved?
Yep. I got so much stuff planned. I can't wait to share with you guys, and hopefully in the next month and a half, I'll hold a press conference with you guys and show you everything that we're working on, and I'm excited about it.
Appreciate it.
Cool.
Dana, for that July event, could Justin Gaethje co-main in case he had to step in from one of the guys, Poirier or McGregor?
Yeah, we could do that, or he would be the backup.
Thank you, sir. Good night tonight.
Okay. Thank you, guys. Have a good night.
Vicente, congratulations. Obviously, an incredibly exciting fight in a short period of time. How are you feeling right now after that fight?
Thanks, man. I'm really excited. I think I've been envisioning this for a while. You know, training camp has been going on great. I visualized this win, but actually coming here, having the fight, winning the fight, it's much better than I expected. You know, biggest win in my career, and definitely super excited.
I know you had a lot of respect for Tyron coming in, but that might be the best we've seen him in a long time. I mean, did you expect him to come out that aggressively, or did it take you by surprise?
I did expect that. You know, he really started real strong, and I expected it because it's crazy. Whenever somebody's going to fight me, I always get the best out of those guys. I don't know if it's my style, and they know that I'm going to go in there to try to knock them out and submit them every single minute of the fight. But for some reason, I always get the best version of every fighter, and I'm good with that. You know, I get ready, and it's good because it never lets me underestimate my opponents. So I was ready for that, and I think I showed I really like the fight, how it went, because I showed a little bit of my wrestling, which I've been working so much on. And yeah, guys cannot take me down that easy now, and I can keep on standing and striking. So yeah, it was a great fight.
Yeah. I mean, you kept your guard high and blocked a lot of it, but it seemed like some of them may have connected a little bit. I mean, were you dazed at all in there?
Yeah, he connected a little bit behind my ear with a strong right hand. I knew he hits hard. I knew that, I didn't want to get punched by him clean, but it ended up connecting. Thank God I have a hard chin. I'm used to, getting hit and be able to survive. But for a little bit, I lost a little bit of my balance. I kind of saw 2 or 3 of him, but I knew at that point he's going to come and try to knock me out now. And I'm just going to, use my skills in striking to try to counterattack him. And it paid off. He came in trying to knock me out. I hit him clean, got him hurt, and then eventually worked for the finish.
I was going to say, as he was hurt and staggering around, like, what's going through your head? Are you thinking, hey, let's go finish this fight? Or is it more like, hey, let's be careful, not get caught by anything silly?
No, it's let's go finish that fight. Yeah, I mean, that's my style. I'm kind of cautious a little bit. I don't want to get hit with stupid stuff. But at the same time, when I see an opening, I'm going to go for it. I don't know. I just don't know how to not go for the finish. If I see that finish, I'm going to chase it. I'm going to look for, create an opportunity. And that's what I did. I heard him, so I kept on trying to knock him out. Once we got to the ground, I saw, I don't think this guy's going to get knocked out that easy. He has a hard chin, so let me submit him. And it worked out at the end.
Did you know the choke was in, or were you worried you might have to adjust and do something else?
I went for it because it was in. I don't go to chokes if they are not 100% in. That's something Gilbert talked to me a lot about. Don't waste your energy in something that you're not sure of. And so from then on, I always go to a submission only if I know it's going to finish. And that one was pretty tight. I knew it was going to finish. Woodley worked really good because he's good at that submission as well. So I could hear his corner man, and they were saying, hey, you know how to get out of that. Do what you got to do to get out. And I was hearing them, and I was thinking man, I know he knows, but this is really tight. I don't think you're getting out. And at the end, he tapped, so it was a great win. And, perfect night.
Nice. Last thing for me, I know ahead of time you said, hey, top 5 is what makes sense next. But, we talked about the history with Leon, the history with Wonder Boy. Is there a fight that makes the most sense to you right now?
Sense? I don't know. I'm not really good with sense. But the fight I really wanted, Kamaru took it. I wanted to fight Masvidal. I think that fight would be a banger. Our styles match up really good. That's why I called out Nate Diaz. I think our styles match perfect. And if he's interested in coming out of retirement, I'll not fight a top 5 to fight him. But, my focus is on the top of the division. So, I don't know, Leon Edwards, Wonder Boy, 2 guys that beat me. I would love those rematches. But we'll see. We'll see. There are many fights up there, and I definitely want a high-level opponent right now.
Vicente, right here. You made it known you were obviously a big fan of Tyron in there before you guys even fought. Did anything in there while you're fighting him, in the back of your mind, you're like, I've seen this 1,000 times from him from watching his tape, and you basically knew what was coming before he threw it?
Yeah, when we were clinched in the wall, and I was kind of pummeling, and he was throwing some knees. I was trying to hit him with knees, and I was just looking at him, and I'm like, man, I'm really fighting Woodley. This is kind of crazy. But that was just a split second, and then I heard Gilbert, I heard my corner man speaking, and I'm like, okay, get back to the fight, and let's do what we trained for. But yeah, it's different. It's a big thing when you fight somebody that you watch for so long. But I think the fight against Wonder Boy helped me out a lot with this fight, because in that fight it was kind of the same. I watched a lot of Wonder Boy fighting, and when I was in there, I kind of had a little bit, I was a little bit nervous, a little bit excited, because I was fighting, a guy that had already fought for the title. After that loss, I realized, man, these guys are just like me. They've worked their way up, and they are there because they deserve it. That's what I'm doing. I'm working my way up, and I'm here because I deserve it. That's why, now I can see these guys. I can see myself at the same level of these guys, and I don't know. It's just another fight for me, but it was super exciting to fight a guy that was a champion and that I used to watch a lot and be a fan of.
Were you able to share any words with him after the fight?
Yeah, I talked a little bit, and most of all, I thank him for the fight. I think that, whenever you're fighting somebody that is up and coming, it's tough. You've been a champion. You want to fight the best in the world, and now you're fighting an up and coming fighter. I just was thanking him for taking this fight and really going in there and bringing all the best of his and having a great fight. I think it was a banger.
Then, say you don't get the Nate Diaz fight and all these other fighters are kind of matched up with other people. You haven't main evented any fights yet. Is that another thing you're looking forward to down the line? You are an action fighter. You had a lot of fight nights coming up. They want to do fights around the world now. So are you also looking for 5-round fights in the future? Definitely.
I think I'm ready for a 5-round fight. I think that I've been evolving every single spot of my game. That's wrestling, striking, jiu-jitsu, and also strength and conditioning. My cardio is great. I really feel like I'm ready for those 5-round fights, and we'll see. A main event would interest me a lot, and yeah, I want especially to fight with big crowds. I miss that a lot, and yeah, we'll see what happens next.
In the corner. Right after the fight, it looked like you were talking to your coach, kind of running back a couple of things that happened in the fight. Is that what was going on?
Yeah, I was. I let him know that I was asking them what shot was the one that hit me, because I felt that something hit me behind the head, but I didn't know if it was an overhand or just a straight right. And they kind of let me know, and I said, yeah, he hits hard. I mean, I expected him to hit hard, but once you actually get hit, you realize how hard Woodley actually does hit. And I don't know, I was kind of excited for the win, but also like, man, he hit me, and it was crazy how all it went down. I thought that in striking I would have clean fight. That's what I always want to have. Besides that, it was a clean fight, but he hit me with that right hand. I was kind of like, yeah, we got to correct that mistake. And I always like to talk to my coaches after my fight, and even though it's a win, I still want to see what I can improve after this fight.
You mentioned Wonder Boy and Leon Edwards running that back. What's different for you now if you were to take those fights again?
I think I'm better. I'm a better fighter in every single aspect. Also, I'm more experienced. I've been, fighting. After Wonder Boy lost, I changed a lot of things in my training that I had kind of overlooked. So I think I'm a better fighter overall, and I'm more experienced right now. So I think that I'm really ready to have this rematches, and it's gonna be a different fight for sure.
Congrats on the win, Vicente. How much did your game elevate? I know you were ready, you were prepared, but did it give you a little extra spark that you were elevated to the co-main event of a big pay-per-view in Vegas?
Definitely. I always like to have the most eyes on me, on my fights, and being the co-main event, I knew that meant, a little bit more people are going. I think the biggest fights, much before the UFC, I've never been able to have boring fights. That's something I don't want to have. If I'm there and I got to stall, I'm not going to do that. I'll do something else, even if it costs me, the win, but I'm going to have exciting fights. And yeah, being a co-main event for sure was a big motivator.
Well, that was definitely exciting, whether it be Apex or if that would have been at Raider Stadium, people would have went nuts. Thank you for that.
Thank you. Thanks, guys.